Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Farm. So this is the fourth video in a series that I'm currently doing where I am reviewing films requested by some of my friends, fellow horror YouTubers. There will be a link in the description where you can check out the 3 other films that I've done so far. So today's movie was requested by Vicky over at Nightmare Maven. She really wanted to see my opinion on this film, and I think the reason why she asked me to do this one is that we are both vegans. So if you don't know what The Farm is about, this is a movie that came out in 2018. I actually did do a reaction to the trailer when it first came out, and just hadn't gotten a chance to see it yet. But it's basically kind of one of those wrong turn abduction type films. It focuses on this couple that are on some sort of road trip. We don't really know where they're going, but along the way they stop to stay at a cabin, and in the first night of them being there, get abducted and taken to this farm, where they are basically treated like cattle. The women are artificially inseminated and then forced to give birth and produce milk. And then the men are kept there, I believe it's just meat. They don't really go into a lot of details in this film. It is definitely a bit of an indie film. I wouldn't say that the acting was great across the board. This movie, for the first, I'd say, half hour, I feel like I'm saying that a lot with films, but for the first half hour, this film was quite slow. But it did get to the point, I would say, after the first abduction. It definitely felt like it was gonna kick in. After they get abducted, you know, flashes black and then goes to, and you see her in this cage and she's freaking out, she's trying to escape. And then the next flash scene is basically her with like her legs up and spread out, and she is forcefully, artificially inseminated. And I will say that scene definitely was a shock for me. Definitely had me like, what the fuck? And really kind of pulled me into this film for the moment. But kind of after that scene, didn't really keep the momentum. There's definitely a few parts throughout the film where it's pretty intense. I kind of kept expecting it to, I guess, pick up a little bit more. Wasn't really sure on the direction of the film. There wasn't a lot of detail behind the reasonings for what they were doing. You do find out that they are having this giant meal, but there's really, again, they don't go into that a lot aside from kind of this main character, this guy that owns the cabin and owns the farm. He's like on the phone with someone talking about the meal and how many people there's going to be and all these things. And that's really kind of the only detail about that you get. This film kind of unfortunately doesn't really take a very good direction at any point. Like I said, you have these moments where it's pretty intense, kind of intense scenes and things that are happening, and then it just kind of goes blah again, which is really kind of disappointing. I kind of expected, I guess, a little bit more out of this film, and it's not necessarily that it was like a horrible film. I wouldn't say it's the worst film I ever saw, definitely. I think that if you are someone who is into these kind of abduction, you know, creepy middle of nowhere type films, you may enjoy it, but it is still, like I said, it's very kind of low budget indie type film, which isn't always a bad thing, but just not so great with this one. Again, the acting wasn't that great. The kind of 2 main characters, you're kind of focused on them and then you're not, and it's a bit back and forth, and they were kind of annoying. Again, the main guy that kind of owns the farm, every time he was on screen, he just kind of annoyed me. He didn't really, they kind of try to make him look a little creepy, and he definitely does, but it didn't really add anything to it. And yeah, he just kind of annoyed me every time he was on screen. He wasn't very great either. So all in all, wasn't super happy with this film. But like I said, it's not the worst film that I've ever seen. So it's kind of weird. I wouldn't really necessarily say that it was a complete waste of my time, but it just wasn't necessarily a film for me. And I am gonna do a little vegan propaganda here, but if you do watch this film and you do find the images and the things that are disturbing throughout this film, you know, just a reminder that there are thousands of animals around the world that go through that every single day. And that's like, for me watching this film, that's all I could think about. Like, yeah, what these people were going through is horrific. And there are definitely like some intense scenes that made the movie pretty enjoyable at those parts. But for me, just watching it, all I could really think about is the fact that, you know, there's living beings that go through that shit every day. But yeah, that's kind of my feelings about it. I'm just kind of meh on it. I'm not heavily hating, but I didn't super enjoy the film. So if you've seen The Farm, let me know what your thoughts were on it in the comments below. If you did enjoy this review, please do give it a big old thumbs up. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button for more horror-related content. And before I go, a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much for helping to contribute to the channel. If you don't know the perks to being a patron, links are in the description along with all of my social media. And again, a big thank you to Vicky from Nightmare Maven for suggesting this. I will also leave a link to her review of this film in the description, because I know that she did review that. So yeah, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later with another video.